right, here we are. Episode 3 of our NSSDL podcast. Doing the clap. Hey, start to clap this time.
All claps.
We're actually also, every time. We're actually also attempting a live stream this time, so we didn't really announce this because we want to see how the live stream goes, how it works, but we're working with a live stream here, so I should have the live stream going over here. But anyway, we wanted to do a podcast here. We originally intended to have another owner, Phil, I believe, correct?
Yes.
Join us today.
Phil could not make the 12:30, but we are set up for next Friday at 3:30.
Perfect, right. So we'll get him out. And again, like we had mentioned, this is an attempt to try and introduce all the owners for those of us that don't know each other, have some fun with them, poke them a little bit, as we have with Matt quite a bit here on these podcasts. And so we want to do that for everybody, get everybody to get a chance to get that feeling.
It is peach, I'll have you know.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it's pink. It looks pink for me, but
okay.
I don't know why anybody would ever wear anything like that.
Pink.
So, all right. So the topics I believe for this episode today are going to be focused on some changes to the draft, and those were kind of teased a little bit by Dion in the app. And then I think we're going to talk about a trade potentially, and then maybe a constitution. We're going to talk a little bit about a league constitution that's been put together as well. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the idea here. So we'll go ahead and Matt or Dion, who's going to kick it off?
First, what are we drinking, boys?
Oh, yeah. Cheers.
The standard. Cheers.
Banquet.
As always. Yes.
Cheers.
I have Odell Brewing Company Hazer Tag. So if you guys want to sponsor us, because we know you're watching probably.
From Odell, Nebraska?
I would assume so.
Odell.
Nope, Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Close enough.
Way off.
Representing the Colorado breweries here.
Yeah.
It's like, man, Odell's kind of a smaller town to make their own beer.
It is. I remember it because we used to play him in 8-man football, right? We played Diller Odell in 8-man football every year.
The entire town works at the brewing company?
Yeah, probably so. Yeah.
All right, in case you're watching.
All right, kick us off,
this,
Dion.
In case you're watching this and not reading the app, good job. But also, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Get in the chat,
exactly.
people. Come on.
Read the chat. All right, so since it has been absolutely a nightmare trying to find a place that'll hold us for 3 to 4 hours in a private room during graduation weekends.
Yep.
It's been absolutely impossible trying to find something. So instead of trying to get everyone aligned on one day to get this done, since it's 22 rounds, we've decided to swap to a slow draft, which, for anyone that doesn't know, we are going to make the timer for the pick 12 hours. Before
12 hours. That's forever, Dion. How's it ever going to work?
Exactly. So this, if potentially, could last forever.
Good.
No, there is a finite amount of time.
Months.
Yeah. But you do not have to wait the 12 hours to pick, obviously. It is just a little bit of gap in case we get busy with our adulting, children's, family life, graduations. It's summertime. This is what we have things going on.
Exactly.
It's probably just easier to do it this way.
Priorities, though? I mean, this league is not a high priority on our owners.
Well, I mean,
right now?
I feel like there's some slackers in the league that probably, should come on the podcast and defend themselves. Bobby.
Gotta pick it
no
up.
Names. No name. Oh, I didn't hear a name. Did you say a name? I didn't hear a name. No.
I don't think you'll ever get Bobby on the podcast.
My goal for the entire time of this league is to get Bobby on this podcast. If I have to chloroform him and kidnap him, I will put a hidden camera up in his house somewhere.
Yes.
And just interview him in the shower. That's where we want it, right?
Yep, you'll get a lot of cheeseburger fill. And
wow.
Possibly Mr.
Can we just interview Cheeseburger, actually?
I'm in with that. Cheese is a great cat. I hate cats too.
Getting off a little on a tangent there.
That's all right.
So 12-hour time, and we also will establish a pause for putting kids to bed, sleeping. when Matt inevitably gets drunk playing, cornhole and can't make his draft pick. Although that probably feels like
This is true.
That seems like a strategy to me.
I feel
Let's
like
get
we should
him
turn it off
drunk.
for that moment.
I don't have that for
I agree.
yet, but just in case, that's a very good plan.
So the clock will pause at 9 p.m., but it is a pause. So when it does start back up at 7 a.m., the clock will resume from where it paused. It's not going to reset. So if you add 5 seconds at pause, you only have 5 seconds when it comes back up.
Yes.
And that kind of leads to the next. You can continue to make picks while it's on pause. So if you're awake, you want to make your pick, making trades, everything is still alive. Kind of some reasoning behind it. I kind of touched base with the scheduling chaos. Just seems to make sense with everybody. We do still plan on doing the rookie draft live, having as many people as we can.
Yes.
That's only 4 rounds. Can be a lot. You're done a lot sooner, quicker. It'll be later in the year, so we won't have graduations to contend with. And also, we are dealing with Sleeper's IDP rankings issue. So 2 weeks ago, they told us in a help ticket that they would have it fixed after the NFL draft. And they said it'd be another 2 weeks after that, and they just touched base with us yesterday that it's looking like another 2 weeks, which is obviously past our draft time. So having this extra time between picks will give everybody enough time to research their IDP rankings. I'll post a few resources in the chat. IDP subreddit is available. You could just Google search IDP Dynasty rankings and a slew of results should come up for you. But we'll throw a couple in the chat case. I know some people you have to spoon feed them. Matt.
Yeah.
I think the plan is still to get together on the 17th. Are we still good with that? It'd be a lot easier just to go to a sports bar and just grab a table and hang out for a little bit after golf or at golf. So we can pay attention to the chat for some more details, or we can reach out to Matt. Will pick the golf course.
Will I?
No, I'll pick the golf course. You pick the bar afterwards.
No, I'd rather pick the golf course.
I know, it's way easier.
How about, let's say, potentially Iron Horse, Tregaron?
I selfishly vote Tregaron, but that's because it's literally
right next to you.
Yeah.
I'm fine with Tregaron.
I could throw a rock right now and probably get it on hole 9.
I don't know about that.
You know the places more than I do here, though, like sports bars and like places to go. I'm still pretty new to the area.
Yes, there is a nice course between Wilderness Ridge.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. We'll talk about it.
Yes, there is a nice course.
Maybe Phil has some input.
Yeah.
Anyway, the draft format, I encourage anyone to reach out. If there's questions, concerns, thoughts, please let us know. I don't think this will be an issue for anybody. If anything, it's going to make us a little more impatient because we want to get to our picks quicker. But
yeah, that's okay.
So be prepared for me to text you at some point in time and say, are you going to make your pick?
Get your pick!
If I miss anything,
you just
guys,
get the auto pick. I mean, if you don't pick, right? I mean,
it is. We have it set for auto pick.
Yeah, we do.
We can discuss if we want to adjust that or have Matt and I
auto pick.
Call you repeatedly.
I will do that. That'll be fun.
I feel like within the last hour, if you haven't made your pick, probably gonna be reaching out to you.
Yep, I'm good.
Otherwise, yeah, I think auto pick's the punishment you deserve. And who knows, it might work out for you.
Mate, yep.
But let's get to the real meat and potatoes, Dan.
The real meat and potatoes
of this podcast. We had
Phil's not here, so
we had a huge deal though go down.
We did.
Or did we forget?
No, we did not forget.
Are we sure?
A duo?
A deal.
Let's get
deal.
Didn't he say deal? He said huge deal, right?
Huge deal, right? Why can't I can't present?
I think the word you're looking for is trade.
I don't know that that's what he
Matt,
meant.
you're still sharing screen. I can't.
Am I still sharing?
Yeah, it says I can't present.
Jeez.
No, I'm not sharing.
It says so.
I'm seeing you guys, so I don't think he's sharing. And I'm looking at the live stream. He's not sharing.
I know, but he still has it up apparently. It says Matt Cock is sharing. Want to take over?
Yes, just take over.
This is very. All right, here we go. Let's talk about it, boys.
Yes.
Can we see it?
Yep.
We can see it.
So
Perfect.
What do you
Right.
want first?
All right, this is the trade that was just buzzing around NPPD. We got to know what's gone into this here. Am I echoing, by the way?
So,
No, you're good.
no, you're good. So I'll start. I received a trade offer from Matt, like a couple weeks ago, maybe something like that. Matt, right?
Yep. Kind
And I
for like 2 weeks there, but
and
it's
I
okay.
immediately
Don't forget.
responded to that trade offer, like within the next 12, 13 minutes. No, so I think I mentioned on the last podcast that obviously I'm new to Dynasty. I'm in a redraft league that does not have very many trades. Now I am definitely down to trade. I'm DTT,
Oh.
but
You know me.
yeah, exactly. But I'm a little hesitant to make sure that because as we talked about last time, I think if you make a trade that's not good, it's going to live with you for multiple seasons, not just
Yes.
one season. Then you flush everything and go again. So I took a look at that. I thought that the trade was fair, just was exactly what I was looking for. So I rejected the trade and came back with a counteroffer,
He did.
which is very similar to this one, right, Matt?
So
Yes.
just to recap, repeat who's
The initial?
receiving what. Like,
Okay, so
so we have
Matt.
Matt. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
I am receiving Dan's first round pick in the startup draft, which is
The
the
10th
10th
overall.
spot. So I will have 9 and 10 in the first round.
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
We'll see. And as well as the first round, I received his third round pick. And his second round pick in the rookie draft. In turn, Dan receives my second round pick in the startup draft, which is pick number 4, and my fifth rounder, which is pick number 9, as well as my first round pick in the rookie draft, which is pick number
Right.
4. So
Yeah.
Dan will
this
have
year's, which
this
This
year's
year's,
rookie draft.
yep.
Dan will have
Which is
picks
why you don't
3
see
and
it.
4.
Right, which is why you don't see it here because we're not able to show and trade
Yes.
the rookie picks this year in the app.
As
say
soon as
once
So that
our
was the
startup
note.
is finished, those picks
Yep.
will be available, and we will adjust that with the
complete-
commissioner controls.
yes, we will complete that trade officially once the
Yep.
startup.
So basically, what I did is I traded back 6 picks from 10 to 16, right?
Yep.
But you
In
get
the first
two
round.
back to back there, and the 104 in this year's rookie.
Yes. Rookie
Right.
draft is huge.
So I basically traded that. So I went back 6 picks, but then Matt traded back quite a bit in the rookie draft this year because he was at 4
I did.
and he traded back to what would have been,
Second
Matt? It
round.
would have
It'd be
been
like
second round
2-8,
towards the end.
2-9, something like
I'd be
that.
2-9, 2-10
Yeah.
in the second round.
2-9 to 10. So the third rounder from me and the fifth rounder from Matt was an attempt to try and even that out because I only moved down 6 picks in the startup draft, but Matt moved down quite a bit more
I did.
in the rookie draft. So the 3 and the 5 was an attempt to try and even that up, so it was a fair trade on both sides.
You should have fleeced him, Dan.
So
Look at him. Just right for the pickings there.
I am always
the last
up-
thing I want to do is do that, right?
Yes. I'm always up for a fair trade, and I will always try to offer the fair trade first.
I think Matt went through 4 trade calculators to make sure that
I
he
did, exactly.
was even.
I did. I don't
Such
like
a
to sit
slave.
here. It's like going through a car dealership. Nobody likes doing that. I just want to get straight to the point. I get what I want. You get what you want. Let's make a deal.
All right.
Hose that car delership, man, as far as I'm concerned.
Just
So
keep-
They're making
before
tons
I
of
ask
money.
some more questions, so the league knows if you want to go a route like this is the way to do it. Make the trade in the messages, make sure it's clear that you are, accepting this year's rookie picks, and then let Matt and I know in the messages as well, so we
Yes.
know to adjust that afterwards. But
Right.
And our assistant to the co-commissioners, Dan.
Dan is our host and arbiter for.
Still have no idea what that position entails. See, every podcast it gets changed and it gets more shit added.
I feel
right?
like
It's perfect. It's more responsibilities with no pay.
Yeah, it really is. But I feel like we just demoted Dan. Like he was our assistant. Now he's just our host.
Yeah, I'm just a host and arbiter. I mean, wow, that sounds
you do our taxes
horrible
for us. That's it.
That sounds terrible.
When Matt and I fight about something, Dan has to be there to put us in our corners.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're like two
All right.
sock'em robots. Dan's getting
right.
that guys.
Who wants to go first? The question is, what were each of you accomplishing? What's the thought process for this deal?
Dan, I'll let you go ahead on this one. I kind of initiated the trade.
You did.
But your counter offer, I will say you initiated that. So,
well, I mean, I like what's available at the top of the rookie draft this year, right? And so what I was looking to do is see if I could get a couple more picks higher, along with the one that I already have at 3. And you had already initiated a trade to me, so I thought, well, we'll see if this works. So I countered that. So it did work out. So I was looking at, I didn't necessarily expect to get 3 and 4, but I'm happy that I got 3 and 4 because I think I'm going to get some decent players at those positions. There's lots of great options in the first half of the first round of the rookie draft this year. And so therefore that's kind of what I was looking for. I also, your initial trade was a little bit more than I could stomach in the startup draft. It was a little too much there. So I'm willing to go down 6 picks. And then, with the 3rd and 5th, I did that, like I said, did that for the fairness part of it. I'm interested in staying high as much as I can in both drafts to get some good players. But that was kind of my thought process. And I had actually been, full disclosure, before Dion made a trade with Phil, I was actually talking with Phil a little bit as well. And him and I were working on something as well. A little bit different trade than I was talking with him. But so that's kind of what I was looking for.
Okay.
So that'll be good to hear next week.
That will be. I'm interested in that one.
Matt, yours. You're the one that gave up the future value.
Yes, potentially. Anyways, I didn't necessarily want to move up in the draft. I feel like anything 1 through 5 would have been given up a lot. And that's kind of what Dion had to do, was give up a lot in my mind. But I like where myself and Dan are kind of at in the draft, and I knew Dan would be open to a trade. So I asked him for his first, and I think my initial offer was my 3rd and 4th rounder, as well as next year rookie draft 2nd round, just to kind of see what Dan would do. Pick his brain on that trade. I did like his 1st round pick, though, and he stuck with that, thankfully. In my opinion, I would much rather have a player who's been in the league and has proven himself a little bit more. He could be a rookie as of last year and could be going into a sophomore year, or could be he's been in the he's been in the NFL for a couple years now. I kind of like that they've proven themselves already, and I think that's worth more at this point than taking a shot on a rookie who probably has a good chance, but not a guaranteed chance, in my mind.
Sure.
And that's where giving up that high 1st round in the rookie draft was almost doable to my mindset. I think of outside of the first 2, potentially 3 picks in the rookie draft, it becomes a little murky and muddy where some players went and their value. So, and falling back to, I guess, giving up my 2nd round in this trade, I've kind of been eyeing a couple players and doing some mock drafts, and a couple players won't fall to me in that 2nd round pick. So I was okay with that, and potentially taking a reach on some players potentially in the 1st round with that pick. So we'll see.
So I think the biggest question I have is Jaden going 8 or 9 or 10.
We'll see.
Or does it depend?
It really depends.
Okay.
the two or three players who I really want, Jaden will not go 9 or 10 if these players fall to me. We'll see.
You heard that, rest of the league.
Yes.
Make sure those players go.
Well, see, but he's not saying
That's
which
what I
players, so he can come back and say, well, the players I was thinking about were
I mean,
whoever.
Jaden is the only player named in this. If I had it my way.
Okay, Matt.
So how
the only way that we're going to believe you is if you name the two players that you're thinking are going to come to 9 and 10.
Not naming the two players. We'll just see.
All right,
We'll see next weekend.
Okay, since the trade, how confident are we feeling? Are we both happy, confident? Or is any hesitance? Do we have any regrets?
I mean, I feel like it was a fair trade in my mind.
Well, you went through
Yeah.
eight calculators.
I know. Part of me.
Same.
feels
Wait, it was
it's-
4, now it's 8?
Everything doubles.
Everything
Wow.
goes.
Jeez.
It was a fair trade in my mind. I'm nervous about giving up that 4th round, obviously, or the 4th pick in the rookie, obviously, but picking up that 9-10 in the first round of a startup feels good to me. So
Yeah. Same. Yeah, you know, if I was dropping further down, I would be a little bit more nervous. But I've still got 2 picks fairly high in the startup.
yep.
That aren't too bad, and definitely 2 very strong rookies that, you know, at that level. And again, I think we learned last year and in previous years that, you know, there's no guarantees, but you have a much better chance, in my opinion, of those 3 and 4 hitting than you do, you know, maybe somewhere later in the first or into the second round of the
Especially
rookie
this
draft.
year's
So I feel
class.
pretty good.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a
I
good-
agree.
There's a good deep class. We'll cover that in the rookie class, but I do think it's deep, and having 3-4 is definitely more
In certain
value
positions, yes,
this
it's
year than it
definitely
has been in years past.
Yeah.
I would agree.
All right, now when this trade
good.
eventually backfires for one of you, what is our excuse going to be?
I mean, it's different in both cases because I feel like if it fails for me, I'll probably have a 9 or 10 pick injured or both potentially. And for Dan, if it doesn't work for him, I feel like that player is going to be a bust then. So
Yep.
I feel like it's different for both of us.
So, I mean, that's the reason why it'll fail. My excuse is going to be that Matt forced me into this. I mean, he sent me something knowing that I hadn't been in a league like this before.
I haven't either.
Forced me to evaluate this pick. I didn't like it, so he forced me to send him something else and really sacrifice that number 10 pick that, man, I wish I would have had it back. So I'm just going to blame it all on Matt, to be
I've been
quite honest.
planting numbers into his brain for the past like 3 weeks just for him to kind of accept and send me the trade rather than me send him the trade. So
I
it worked
think
out
for-
pretty well.
A future podcast, I think, with your guys' trade, any other trades that happen, as well as
Yes.
Phil and I's,
Yeah.
after both drafts, we revisit, so we have actual names to put to these picks. Because right now, you know,
Yep.
we're
Yeah,
seeing
exactly.
Yeah.
just picks.
There's going to be value to these picks here soon.
And
So-
by the time we
True
have that podcast, those values could change already. Like
Yeah.
we'll be, you know, in training camp or preseason, we'll be, you know, they could change drastically.
So let's go
I
ahead
like
and
it.
let
I
Dion
always
plant
love
the
to see
flag
trades.
today. Dion, plant the flag today. Today, on the record, who won the trade, and then when we
So-
do that later, we'll see who actually won the trade.
I do, as an outsider, think it is a fair trade. I don't think I can definitively
cop-out.
say.
Nice
I
cop-out.
have an opinion, but I don't think there's a definitive way. It's 2 schools of thought. Like Matt is trading up
It
because
is.
he's getting 2 proven guys.
It is.
You're trading down, picking up value, and getting younger guys. And in this draft class, I
agree.
do have a lot of faith in, you know, the top, I'd say 5-6 picks.
Yeah.
Yep.
And depending on how you build your roster, because there's no names to this, so it's going to depend on what you guys do with these picks.
Exactly.
But I do like Dan's side better,
Mm-hmm.
just because at the end of the first round, I don't feel like there's a huge gap in talent between what's there and at the end of the second. Does that make sense? I don't feel like there's a complete change in fantasy value
Yeah.
that you potentially can gain with 2 top 4 picks in this year's draft. all
But it's
theoretical.
splitting hairs. It's so close, in my
exactly.
opinion.
It's
It
all
is.
theoretical.
Right.
Yeah.
You're taking bets, and when you want, like Matt has two guys he wants that he believes in, this is the deal you have to make.
Yep,
and
exactly.
You have to pay for it.
Yep.
It can work out.
I also feel
it might
on
not
that
work out.
side that he's looking at a couple guys not named, but he's looking at a couple guys. But I think that even if those guys, one or both of them, don't go to him, I think there's still a very good, proven, producing
getting
players
proven
in those
commodities.
positions.
Yes.
So it may not be what you want, and that might be the way Matt will be like, it didn't really work out for me. It didn't get who I wanted, but I think you're still going to get solid players. I mean, that's the 9th and 10th best, veterans, quote unquote veterans in the NFL.
He's getting 2 top 10 picks that are proven.
Yeah.
You're
Right.
getting 2 top picks in rookie draft that you hope end up to be in this value at some point in time.
Right. Absolutely.
We think that
right.
that could eventually happen, but nothing
Right.
is guaranteed. So
For sure.
that's why I feel like splitting hairs. But
Yeah, I agree.
It's
I get
how
it.
you build your roster.
Yep. I agree.
That's a great idea, though. Let's talk about that
And-
here, mid-season when we've got these guys, we picked them. We'll probably talk about it before then, but how are these guys performing? And I think it'll be more clear as to who won that trade at that point.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I think that's
Yeah,
a good idea.
for sure.
Put some
All right.
maybe mid-season we'll review all trades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mid-season podcast.
And each week, if there's trades during the week,
Yep.
boy,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
hope there are.
Week
We're going to
one.
nail these
yeah,
trades
for
and do a lot
you
of.
guys that haven't traded yet, what are you waiting for? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Let's go. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's do some week 1.
Hey, if anybody wants the
overreaction.
4th pick in the rookie draft, hit me up. I'm
there you go.
DTT, man.
Here it is.
I love it.
All right, well, we kind of cut our episode in half not having Phil, so we'll have
We did.
the rest of this next week. Just
okay.
tack it on. Another thing to make fun of Phil about.
Exactly.
Did you want to touch on the document you've put together, Dion? Just kind of give
yes.
a.
Before we move out, let's go. I have started a bylaws and rules constitution for our league. Let me pull it up here so I can kind of hit the outline.
Because I definitely want to read it before I know if I'm going to drop or not from the.
Well, no,
league, so
I want everyone to get their input. This is just an outline. I mean, we're covering the league overview, the rosters, our scoring settings, the draft order, player transactions, but the schedule,
Seen some
the
of
league
Dion's
median
documents
matchups.
before, so this is going to be a very questionable document at first.
You know what?
Really? I didn't intend for you to share it necessarily, Dion. I know we want to kind of look through it first. I mean, the
feel
two
like I have to
commissioners and the auditor or whatever the
format
hell my
right
new
now.
position is now.
Look at my
Oh,
format.
here it is.
skills.
Here it is.
This is
Oh, wow. That is amazing.
Yep. So, obviously, we'll add on.
This almost looks like Sheldon Cooper's like a roommate agreement right here. This is very well done. Very well done.
But we cover a bunch of topics. I know in a previous league, we've had arguments and things come up, and it takes league votes, and it's just nice to get as much down as we can that everyone can reference. We don't have to argue or fight about it. There's rule changing and voting segment here. Obviously, these will all be expanded upon, but this is just a quick overview.
Yep.
But just an idea. We'll get that
Great.
hopefully
That's good.
finalized at some point. And
I like it.
get that
Because
out to
you
the
know
league.
how this fantasy football goes, right? People get very into it, and sometimes there's going to be some disagreements and things like that. So you want to have some
Well, especially
clarity
when you got
on how things work.
money on the line and you're investing
Yeah.
in it. You're invested. You don't want to feel slighted. So
Yeah.
we get it.
Yeah,
We need to
totally.
be proactive with preventing as much as we can.
Yep.
Totally agree.
We'll hopefully
right.
in a future segment have that for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
that'd
a
be great.
reminder,
That'd be great.
next Saturday, we're still going to plan for golf.
Yes, we are 8 days away from our draft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still
8
plan for
days.
golf, still plan for hanging out during the start of the draft if anyone wants to join us. So,
And please don't hold the clock hostage. If you're
Yeah,
on
don't
the
be that
clock,
guy.
don't take all 12 hours if you know your pick. Come on, don't be that guy.
We're all friends here. It's fine.
Well,
Maybe.
most
I
of
will,
us.
I will make fun of you. Next episode, we got to sit down with Phil.
Yeah.
We get to talk about him being a Cyclone. He said Iowa State, right? He said,
Iowa State?
I think he said Iowa State.
I guess it's better than Iowa, but
Yeah,
marginally,
true, but I mean, not much
Iowa.
better.
no.
Yeah.
I would
mean,
rather
still
be.
in the
I
same
mean, if I
state.
had to choose my circle of hell, I'd probably pick that one.
I would pick Iowa State. It is a fun campus. I've been
Old Ames.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well,
Yeah, so looking
Draft
forward to
draft
talking
starts
to
now.
Phil. Yeah, looking forward to talking to Phil, and then just again encouraging folks to hit us up because we really would
Yes.
like every owner to be on one of these. It's a lot of fun. Trust me, I know it looks like it's boring as hell, and Matt's a jerk and pissing us off all the time, but really do have a good time doing this. And so
Such
That's
a
the whole
even you, Bobby, I know you're listening. Even you're
gonna-
coming on.
You're gonna, Bob.
You're coming on. So
If I have to
all right.
hijack a Twitch channel, I will.
Oh,
Oh, interesting.
We should just bomb his Twitch channel as race it or something and insert ourselves.
Sounds
All
great.
right.
All right,
Gentlemen.
good talking with you guys.
All right,
Absolutely.
cheers.
Enjoy.
Cheers.